Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Made You Book. My name's Gretchen and today I'm going to be doing a review for The Celebrants by Steven Rowley. Now, if you follow my channel, you'll know that I typically like to read a lot of literary fiction, translated fiction, and this is not the typical type of book that I review. However, I do read these books fairly often. I like palate cleansers, I like to refer to them. I really enjoy literary fiction and translated fiction that makes me think. However, every once in a while, I just need a book that I don't really have to think too hard about and everything is kind of on the surface, and this is the type of escape that I look for between those heavier, more dense and complex literary fiction books that I tend to read. So I picked this up specifically because I have read two other Steven Rowley books in the past. I've read The Guncle, which I actually really enjoyed that, and Lily and the Octopus, which was so sad. Now, I really enjoyed both of those books, and both of them were they really hit home emotionally for me, and I went through all the feels with those books. They were well written, they had a great story, and they were super poignant, and they just, I mean, they were such, good, cozy, comforting reads. Now, this one, based on the premise, I thought, oh my gosh, I am in for a wild emotional ride, because the premise of this book is that there is a group of friends, and when they are in college, one of the group dies, and they make kind of a pact that anytime that life gets kind of unbearable or it doesn't seem like it's worth living, that they will call on the pact and get all of the friends together and have a funeral for that person while they're still alive. And it'll give them an opportunity to hear from their loved ones that what they mean to them, and also hopefully give them a purpose to want to keep going on, and let them know that life isn't really as bad as it might seem at that moment. So with that being the case, I thought for sure that this book was going to just destroy me, and it didn't. Unfortunately, I got nothing. I felt nothing for this book. I didn't relate to any of the characters. I did not connect to any. I mean, you don't have to relate to a character to connect to them. I didn't connect to any of the characters either, and I don't know why that was. I think I really enjoyed the idea of that story, but I just don't think that it was delivered in a way that was impactful for me. And unfortunately, I was super disappointed, because I was going into this expecting to be destroyed emotionally, and I wasn't. So my enjoyment may have been kind of dampened because of that expectation I had going into it, but it's not a bad book by any means. It had an interesting plot. It did have one thing that I can always expect from Steven Rowley is he is funny. Like, he is a very funny author, and he always ends up making me laugh. And I listened to the audio as I read this, and the narrator that does the Steven Rowley books is so good. And I actually need to make a note of who that narrator is, because anytime I listen to one of his books, the narrator is just so animated, and the voices that he does, he has great comedic timing, and I tend to really enjoy the listening to these books. And there are several times where there have been instances where I have literally laughed out loud because of not maybe necessarily what was happening or what was being said, but just the way that the narrator presented it. It was enjoyable. But all in all, at the end of the day, this was a 3-star for me. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It wasn't bad. It just didn't really do much for me. I will definitely pick up other Steven Rowley books in the future. I am, entertained by them, but I just hope that maybe the next one I can get me back to those feelings I had with reading the Guncle and Lily and the Octopus. And if I can make a recommendation, the Guncle is absolutely hysterical and heartwarming. It's about a man who is living on his own. He is gay, and he ends up kind of adopting his niece and his nephew and brings them into his life. And it's just a funny, very heartwarming story. And then Lily and the Octopus is, oh my gosh, if you're an animal lover, it is definitely going to hit you in the heart. It just follows a man and his dog Lily that is basically near the end of her life. She discovers that she has cancer, and they don't refer to the cancer as cancer. They refer to it as the octopus. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful story about pets and how they impact your life, and how they make our lives better. And when they leave the world, that they definitely, like a family member, they leave a hole in our worlds to fill. So I do recommend those two. If you're going to pick up a Steven Rowley, I would suggest picking up one of those. But like I said, this was a decent read, not my favorite, but I will pick up more from him in the future. Have you guys read any Steven Rowley books? Are there any, if you're one that reads denser, heavier books, do you sometimes find yourself reading certain authors to kind of lighten the tone of your reading and kind of get you back in, a better state of mind so that you can move on to your next ones? If you have any authors like that, let me know. And if you read this and you enjoyed it, let me know why. And that way maybe I can, rethink things and maybe find a connection that I didn't find initially with one of the characters. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye.